All right, Tigers, let's go ahead and work on numbers 3 through 5. Now, once again, when I have a word problem, I like to jump right to the last sentence, read that question, and see what it's asking me to do. Let X represent the number of CDs sold last week, and Y represent the number of CDs she sold this week. Hey, I can already look at that and do number 3. I can go ahead and define my variables. I know that X and Y are my two variables, and I know that X should represent the number of CDs sold last week. And I know that Y is the number of CDs sold this week. So number of CDs sold this week. Okay, now I'm guessing, it doesn't directly say anywhere, but I'm guessing that I'm going to have to figure out how many CDs were sold each week. Well, let's go back up and look at our equations, our sentences. Miscellaneous works in music store, no important information there. Last week she sold 5 more than 4 times the number of CDs. So let's say last week. Last week is X. So X equals 5 more than. Now just like above when we have that less than, that means add, but we have to do it at the end, so plus 5. And I always give myself a little bit of room to work there. And then 4 times the number of CDs that she sold this week. Well, CDs this week is Y. And then 4 times that would be 4. So we got 4Y plus 5. Miscellaneous sold a total of 100 CDs over the 2 weeks. Well, if I add last week's and this week's, that gives me 100. So last week's is X plus this week's is Y, and that has to equal 100. So boom, already done. Only 2 minutes in, and we're already done with number 4. Now, 5 says to solve. I realize there's all this space over here. I like working down, so I'm just going to go ahead and work from there. Again, I see a standard form. I see a slope-intercept form. That tells me when I have a mixture of the two, I'm going to use substitution. So let's replace this X with 4Y plus 5. So that gives me 4Y plus 5 plus Y equals 100. Once again, this X was just replaced with the 4Y plus 5. Now let's go ahead. We're going to multiply if I needed to, but there's no multiplication or distribution to do. So let's go ahead and combine like terms. 4Y plus Y gives me 5Y plus 5 equals 100. Next, let's get rid of that 5. Subtract 5 on both sides. Gives me 5Y equals 95. Divide both sides by 5. Gives me Y equals 95 divided by 5 would be 19. Once I have that, I can use that number, Y equals 19, along with my top equation. It doesn't matter which one, either one would work out. Substitute it back in, 4 times 19 plus 5. Well, 4 times 19 is 76 plus 5. 76 plus 5 is 81. And if I check it, 81 plus 19, sure enough, is 100. So CDs last week, I'm glad I wrote this down. Last week was X, so X is 81. And CDs this week is Y, which is 19.